Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Baxter. I am the Director for Worship Renewal here at Trinity Lutheran Church, and I want to say welcome to you. This is our second organ recital through the month of April. Whether you are here in person in our sanctuary or joining us via our live stream, I think you're in for a treat today. Before we begin, though, just a few items to note. You have a program. Hopefully, if you do not, raise your hand up in the air. I will deliver one to you. Okay, good. Restrooms, should you need them, are through this aisle. Turn left. And in the hallway out there, there are men and women's restrooms. And at the end of that hallway, a gender-neutral restroom as well. We have 2 more recitals in our series left. Next week, we'll hear from Rudy Lucente. And the last Tuesday in April, we'll have Mark Bainey here with us. Mark is a former organist at Trinity, so we're excited to have him back as well. If you are interested in learning about any of the other things that are happening here at Trinity, you can check out our website. That includes, of course, a full slate of Holy Week worship services. So today, you are going to hear from Emily Brands. Emily is our Associate Director for Worship Renewal here at Trinity. Will you help me say welcome to Emily?
Thank you all for coming today. I hope you enjoy the pieces that I've prepared for the recital today. The piece I just played was called Jubilate Deo, and it is by 24-year-old Canadian Tate Pumphrey. I first heard this piece in a YouTube recital during the pandemic earlier, and I played it for a couple of services then, and I fell in love with it. It changes sections so beautifully. I thought it'd be a great opener for this recital. The next piece is called Fantasy on Ubikaritas by Brenda Portman. Ubikaritas is the plain chant tune that is best known for being used on Maundy Thursday, so I felt it was appropriate for a recital during Holy Week. The melody is stated and then flows through the various sections of this piece, but I love how it all comes back together in the hymn-like section at the end. I hope you enjoy Fantasy on Ubikaritas. The next piece is Visions of the Holy Spirit by 26-year-old Daniel Fakhari. I wanted to put together a program of composers who are all alive currently, and I particularly enjoy the music that is being composed by people who are the same age or younger than I am. This piece is written in 5 movements and includes a reading before each movement. The text accompanying this piece was recorded in the diary of Friar Isaac Thomas Hecker, founder of the Paulist Fathers. Each movement that you hear was composed and inspired by the reading that comes before it, and the readings will be read by Andrea. I hope you enjoy Visions of the Holy Spirit.
At times, I have an impulse to cry out, "What wouldst thou have me to do?" I would shout up into the empty vault of heaven, "Ah, why plaguest thou me so? What shall I do? Give me an answer, unless thou wilt have me consumed by inward fire, drying up the living liquid of life. Wouldst thou have me to give up all? I have no dreams to realize. I want nothing, have nothing, and am willing to die in any way. What ties I have are few and can be cut with a groan." I saw a beautiful angelic being, and myself standing alongside of her, feeling a most heavenly, pure joy. It was as if our bodies were luminous and gave forth a moon-like light, which sprung from the joy we experienced. I felt as if we always lived together, and that our motions, actions, feelings, and thoughts came from one center. We must hear those who speak to us in the interior world and hear the mystic man speak through us. He says, "I am all. Ask of me, and I will give you more than has been written, than you can find or dig out by study. I talk to you at all times and am with you at all seasons, and my delight is to be in your presence, to love you, and to take delight in the love I bestow upon you." The Holy Spirit gave me a distinct and unmistakable intimation that I was set apart to undertake, in some leading and conspicuous way, the conversion of this country. He has unmistakably shown me that it is by neither learning nor eloquence that he calls me to convert others, but solely by his grace and power. The light the age requires for its renewal can only come from the same source, the cultivation of the Holy Spirit in the individual soul. The radical and adequate remedy for all the evils of our age and the source of all true progress consist in increased attention and fidelity to the action of the Holy Spirit in the soul. Thou shalt send forth thy Spirit, and they shall be created, and thou shalt renew the face of the earth.
Thank you all so much for joining me at this recital today. This organ is fantastic and amazing, and I am thankful every day that I get to play it. To end the recital today, I wanted to play this toccata on one of my favorite hymns, Lift Every Voice and Sing, written by one of my favorite composers, Mark Miller. This toccata comes from a collection of music from different composers called the African American Organ Music Anthology, Volume 9. Without taking up too much time, I want to read you an excerpt of the foreword of this collection by the editor, Dr. Mickey Thomas Terry. And I would encourage you to check out these collections the next time you are looking for some new organ music. This series is designed to include music representing African American men and women who have written for the organ. Contrary to popular belief, the classical music of African Americans not only includes works that are based on the Negro spiritual, but also include compositions based on or influenced by a variety of sources. Yet, because of historical stereotyping of African Americans in society and the consequential lack of interest by music publishers, performers, and the public, much of this music has for a long time remained only in manuscript form. Since the advent of the Black nationalist movement of the 60s and 70s, which resulted in greater emphasis being placed on the importance of Black contributions to art, music, and literature, a few efforts have been made to address this problem. The genesis of these volumes constitutes one such effort. As for the composers in the series, several are alumni of prominent musical institutions both in the US and abroad. Moreover, several were recipients of prestigious composition awards. As for the series itself, its purpose is to draw attention to organ music produced by a sorely neglected but substantive school of American composers whose recognition is long overdue. The music speaks for itself. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy Toccata on Lift Every Voice by Mark Miller.
I need to tell you that Emily was tasked with finding or inviting the organist to come and be a part of this series during the month of April. And when a few months ago she started to recruit folks to be recitalists here, she came up with 3, and there was 1 week that was empty. And I said, "Which week is that, Emily?" And she said, "Holy Week." And I said, "Well, what are we going to do?" And she said, "I'm going to need to do this program." I think she should have the rest of the week off, don't you? It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Join us again next Tuesday for Rudy and the following Tuesday for Mark Bainey. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.